Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I'm so happy to be here. And can I just have oh, I see the question box. Got it. Okay. I wasn't sure where that was. So, hi, everybody. You guys could write in the question box because I really like interaction. The more interactive we are, the more we learn, right? So, I always say day trading is not a spectator sport. It is a place that you got to jump in, and that usually begins with jumping in with questions because pretty much all of us are here to want to learn something new and or are struggling with something. And that's really what I want to hear from you guys and be able to help you. I'm here to also teach, but the most important part is what you get out of it. And usually that happens when you ask me questions. So please do during the entire workshop. I will definitely answer every single question as we go along. So I am Marina, the Trader Chick, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can simplify your day trading and check out and understand the power of the breakout trade. And this is me. I am Marina, the Trader Chick, and we are going to jump right in. But first, I want to give you guys an intro. So I am actually an expat. I live in Barcelona. I've been an expat for over 21 years. And the reason I bring this up is because whenever I do bring it up, a lot of people are really interested in kind of becoming an expat and always are questioning how easy it is, how hard it is. So I'm here to tell you one thing. The coolest thing about trading, we could do it from anywhere in the world, and there is nothing better than being an expat, even if it's just for 1 year. Right today, being a nomad, a digital nomad, or living remotely wherever independently, it's so simple to do. Anyways, and when you're trading, you can do it from anywhere in the world. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Caminos de Santiago. So it's a pilgrimage Camino. It's a huge Camino that goes into Santiago de Compostela. I just actually finished an entire one. Me and my husband, we walked and rode bikes for almost 1,100 kilometers. I think that's like 600 miles. And even though I was in a lot of remote little cities and towns all through northern Spain as we were walking, I was able to trade. That's the coolest thing because all I needed was 30 minutes to 1 hour. And that's the beauty of trading, is that we can do it from anywhere. And today you can't say I don't have internet, because I have to say pretty much everywhere you've got it. And before I became a day trader, I was a fitness instructor and a travel writer. So why am I telling you that I was a fitness instructor? Because a lot of people have this misconception that you need to come from an economics background, an engineering background, a financial background, or even a math background, and you really don't. You don't. That's the beauty of day trading, is that anyone who is interested can learn and be successful at it. And once you are, you could travel. And for us, my family, travel is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And honestly, we travel between 3 to 6 months out of the year. So it's a big deal for us, right? And that's exactly why anyone from any walks of life could become a trader. And before I speak 3 languages. And the main reason why I'm saying that I speak 3 languages is I was born in the Soviet Union. So I actually was born, my mother tongue is Russian. I moved to the US when I was really little. So I didn't actually learn English, but Spanish, because before moving to Barcelona, we lived in Central America for 20 years. So I learned Spanish in my later years. And as all of us know, learning a new language in your later years, it's a process, right? There's a lot of translation, there's a lot of patience, there's a lot of commitment that goes into it. And one thing that I realized, because I struggled when I began trading, I've been trading now for over 12 years. When I first began, I really, really struggled. And I simply could not wrap my mind around how to read the charts, how to understand what the market was doing. So one day, instead of trying to beat the market, predict the market, or kind of look at the market, I started to look at it as if though it has its own language and it was talking to me. And I was able to apply how I learned Spanish into how I read and listen to the market. And that's really what I want to show you guys today, because it really boils down to the basics of understanding those things. And as I said, you guys can work from anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of day trading. So let's begin to understand the there's four basic strategies that I really like to focus on. So interestingly enough, all of us are driving cars. I would say the majority of the people who are on here today are driving cars in one capacity or another, right? You've driven a car, but a lot of us, because, you know, we've probably been driving for 10, 20, 30 years, forget when we first sat into the car that it was all completely new to us, right? We had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know where the clutch was. We didn't know where the brake was. We didn't know how to shift gears. And today, when we hop in the car, we just do it, right? It's just an automatic movement. But we have first learned it is a strategy. Just the same as when we are driving a car and there's a red light, we know we have to stop at that red light because it's part of the strategy of driving, right? It's not a given. None of us are born with this information. And one thing I notice is the same applies to the charts when we are listening and reading the market as we would when we're learning a new language. And that is literally what I want to be showing you guys today. So it's very similar how when we sit in the car, it becomes automatic for us. The same can happen with the markets, that you guys could continue and progress. Before I move on, I have my entire presentation completely for free because I know that we have a limited amount of time. I'm giving it away for free. Go to makingofadaytrader.com, makingofadaytrader.com. Just put that into your browser and you'll be able to get the entire presentation to you sent immediately for free, so you could follow along as well, and then you could review it on your own. All right, so let's get back to those basics. And what exactly are there? First and foremost, you need a chart. You guys cannot be, if you want to be a Formula One racer, you cannot bring a minivan to the race. If you want to be a real trader, you cannot be sitting on your phone with some rinky-dink apps. You need a charting platform. That is literally one of the only things that you really need to get, which is really good and strong, and that would be a charting platform. And today there are so many charting platforms. When I began 12 years ago, there was, I think, 4. Today there is a multitude, so there is no lack at all. And if you guys don't really know which one works best for you, I am happy to help you completely for free. You could just go to thetraderchick.com and contact me through there, and I'm happy to help you figuring out which platform works for you. I have seen a lot come and go, and the good ones, I am happy to help with that. And each platform, they have free universal indicators. You don't really need to buy indicators. The majority of these platforms, they offer you enough indicators for you to be able to do really well. Like I said before, Making of a Day Trader, go and get the presentation so that you can follow along. All right, the most important part of the market is its movement, right? And the trend. And if you don't understand what you're looking at, it does not matter how many indicators you have and how much money you have in the market. Let me tell you one thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I have this amount of money, this a large amount of money. It doesn't matter, because if you don't even know what you're looking at, if you don't know how to get your car out of park, it won't make a difference, right? It's the same thing for trading. So the most important part of trading is understanding the market and the trends, because logistically we know that there are 2 main trends. That is the uptrend, the downtrend, and we understand and kind of know that there is a sideways trend. However, what is really, really important to understand is that the sideways trend is probably the most important one. And the main reason why, this is where the majority of your money either gets lost or made. All right, and I am going to explain to you in detail how to either avoid it or to get in right when it breaks out, because that's where the majority of the money is made. But if you're not sure where that happens, you're never going to be able to make money, right? You're just going to keep on constantly putting in money into places that you don't understand what's going on. And the reality is, guys, you can sit and watch 100 traders tell you where their entries and their exits are. But if you don't understand what is truly happening from your own eyes, you're going to be missing it, right? And you can fully 100% understand and get on board with whatever market you are working with. All right, so again, trends. You need to understand the downward trend, upward trend, and the sideways trend. So I'm going to break it down really quickly, really simply. Upward trend, each pivot is higher than the other. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but this is really, really important. Each pivot is higher than the other. All right, this is what we call the bull market, the market trending up, the market going up. This is where you enter to buy. All right, so if you're going to be hearing people say, I'm going long, I'm buying, that means you are entering at a low price point, exiting at a high price point, and you're taking the profit in between. You are buying or going long. All right. And if you don't know that terminology, please stop and don't go into the live market anymore. It's literally like getting into the car and not understanding when somebody is telling you got to go into reverse versus going into drive. It's that serious. All right. You do not need to practice with live money if you don't even know if you're going in for a buy or if you're going in for a sell. All right. So when you're buying, you're entering low, exiting high. Downward trend, obviously the opposite. This is when each pivot is going lower than the others. And this is where you enter a sell. This is when you go short. Okay, this is when you're shorting the market. Basically, all it means is you're going in at a higher price point, exiting at a lower price point, and you're taking the profit in between. I know that some of you are thinking, oh, this is so basic and rudimentary. You would be surprised the amount of people that end up losing all of their accounts simply because they don't know the difference. And starting at the beginning, the basics can truly save your life and make you a lot of money. So, and also a lot of people are like, oh, I would never short the market because somebody is losing money over there. That somebody doesn't exist because they don't care about you. All we look at is when the market is telling us technically, with technical analysis, where you enter for a short, where you enter for a buy. And the majority of traders, professional traders, they actually make more money on the sell, on the short, than they would on the buy or the long. All right, so shorting the market. This is the bear market going down. Let's really dive into that sideways trend. It is also called the consolidation area, transition area, the exhaustion pattern, the chop, however you want to call it. This is that flat market, or another good way of explaining it, it's a trader's worst enemy. And if you don't know how to spot it and avoid it, this is where a lot of traders end up losing money. Why is that? I'll explain to you. Trading on a whole is an emotional activity, right? It's very emotional. So when we see a market that is trending and all of a sudden it starts to go into a flat zone, into a sideways market, we start to tell ourselves different kinds of stories, right? For instance, oh, the market's been going up all day. It's going to correct. It's going to continue. I'm going for that long. Or the contrarian trader will say the market's been going up all day. It's got to correct. I'm going to short the market. When the reality is, you don't have to do anything. What you do have to do is sit out because the market doesn't really know what it's doing. That's why it's called an indecision zone. That's why it's a flat area, because the market is stuck. It's not sure if it's going to go up or down. And sometimes, and I would say a lot of times, when the trend is really, really strong, it does not, and most likely doesn't continue in that same direction. So basically, as the pro trader, you need to learn when to sit out entirely. And that's why the sideways market gets a lot of people's money. Because beginner traders have this misconception that they have to be constantly in and out of positions. It's understandable if you lose money in the very beginning of the sideways trend, but if you continue putting your money in, it becomes very emotional, and then it becomes into revenge trading, and revenge trading always ends with you losing the account. So when we see the sideways market, we understand that it's a sideways market that's forming. The most powerful traders know they need to sit out and wait until the market proves them otherwise and shows them that it's starting to go in a different direction or breaking out and continuing in the same direction. This is so important, guys. And the best part about it, it's simple and it's free. You do not need any indicators to understand what is happening. All you need is a drawing tool, and all you need is to be able to draw a line to show you where this consolidation, where this area is happening, to know when it breaks out. All right, and this happens all the time. So what you could start to do is focus when these areas happen and when they break out, and that is when you'll be diving into that breakout. All right, so the sideways market, unfortunately, it can truly take all your money, but if you're smart and you know where they are and you have them drawn in, guess what? This is where you could also be making the most amount of money. Now, how do we spot these areas? How do we recognize these areas? It's by drawing in areas. The market respects areas, right? It respects areas, and we, as the individual retail trader, we also need to respect those areas. So what are those areas? Support and resistance. For me, support and resistance areas are literally as powerful as seatbelts. For example, we all know Formula One racing. I don't care if you guys like Formula One or not. We all know how dangerous it can be, right? The probability of somebody getting hurt or a fatality while during the racing season is 25%, and all drivers know that. So do you think they're just going to hop in and not know how to even put their car into drive or reverse? Or I don't know if those cars go into reverse, but you understand what I'm talking about, right? Never. Not only that, they put on a fireproof uniform. They put on helmets. They put on seatbelts. They are fully leveraged, right? They have their safety gear in place. Day traders, or people that want to trade, 98% fail or burn or crash. Why? Because they don't put in any of these safety measures. Support and resistance areas are those areas. And once again, they're free. That is the beauty of it. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars for these fancy dancy schmancy indicators. You have to have a good charting software that allows you to also have a drawing tool, and they all have drawing tools. So what exactly is a resistance area? It is literally the ceiling of the market. So if a market is going up and all of a sudden starts to hit an area over and over and over again, that is a resistance area. That market is hitting the ceiling, and we need to sit out and wait to see if it's going to transition or if it's going to break through. And the thing about these areas, when you draw them in, the market has a very good probability of revisiting them even a little bit later on down the line. So when you have them drawn in, you're already protected. You already know, wait, the market has been hitting that area earlier. There's something about that area. I'm going to respect it as the market. I'm not going to go in. All right, that is the resistance area. The support area is identical. It is the floor of the market. So if the market's been going down really strongly, and all of a sudden it starts to hit that wall, guess what? Or hit that floor, that is a support area. And I have seen many times really, really strong movements, and then boom, like a crash test dummy hitting that wall. Okay, you need to keep yourself protected. Draw those areas in, and I can guarantee you it will completely revolutionize your trading. I can guarantee that 100%, because you already understand where the market is respecting areas, where you need to sit out, where it breaks out, where it transitions. All these amazing things, and it's free and it's simple to understand. Support areas, resistance areas, they can save your life. And when you have two of them together, that is when you can start to recognize where there is a channeling market, that sideways market, and stay out entirely. All right. That is the greatest part about this. When you have them drawn in, you can say, you know what? The market is completely in indecision right now, or it's just bouncing back and forth. There is nothing that I even want to put my money into. And you stay out. And then, boom, when the market breaks out, that's when you know where you can get in. These happen a lot. But the other thing that's really important, and it's a huge misconception, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of beginner traders have this idea that they need to be in and out of trades all the time, like massive action. When on the contrary, the pro traders, they're almost like big game hunters. You know, big game hunters, will they really be shooting at like that little mole rat or that little prairie mouse? No, they are going to be sitting there and waiting patiently to go for the big game. Pro traders go for the high probability trade. And when they get that, that's when they make the real money. And that could be 1 to 3 trades in the whole day. But why do you need more than that? Because when you start to go too much, guess what? You end up losing. And then you get into revenge trading, and then you end up losing it all. All right. So how do we spot the beginnings of these areas? And that is the beauty of all this. Again, the beauty of this is that it's free and anyone can start to spot it once you know what to look for. And those areas are called reversal areas and divergence. I personally call this a trader's map to shift in direction and trend. And to me, this is my holy grail. It is so precise and so easy and fun once you know and can recognize these areas and what is happening. So what are these? What are reversal areas? They're the double tops, the triple tops, the double bottoms, the triple bottoms, the head and shoulders. All right. These are the beautiful reversal patterns. Is the market going to reverse when this happens? No. It's a high probability that it might, but what it is saying is that the market is really slowing down. It is really losing its strength, and you need to sit out and wait because there's a high probability something major is about to happen, and you want to be ready for that major move. And when you couple it with divergence, that's when magic happens. So what is divergence? I personally use the MACDs. The MACDs are those red dots that you are looking at the bottom. Those are the MACDs. All right, the MACDs and my price action. For instance, as you can see, the price action is going up, right? It's inclining up, but my MACDs are going down. What is that telling me? It's telling me that there's divergence. I don't know what's going on. I don't care, but I do know 100% that the market is losing its steam, that the market is becoming weak. And I do not want to put my hard-earned money into a weak market, right? I don't want to be putting in the market. I want to know when is a good entry for me. And looking at this behavior, that is not a proper entry for me at all right now. So when you double it up with a reversal pattern and a divergence, that is like an extra higher probability that the market most likely will reverse. We don't know exactly when, but now we are even more aware that it's about to change, and we are sitting out waiting for that change to happen. Once that change happens, we are the first to jump on it because the most successful trades are in the beginning of a new trend or of a new breakout. Okay, so when we can spot these, that's when magic really, really happens. All right, guys, so let's put all of this together to really be able to understand what is happening. And again, my entire presentation that I have right now, I have it 100% free. Please go here, put this into your browser, makingofadaytrader.com, and you're going to get the entire presentation. I call it my cheat sheet. It's literally what I use for my own trading. All right, guys, breaking out of areas. How do we spot these valid breakout trades? First and foremost, you need to draw in your areas. You need to be able to start to spot the reversal patterns, the divergences, and then when the market is hitting an area over and over again, and then you draw in either a resistance area or a support area, and you sit and wait to see what happens. So what exactly is a breakout? Why is it different than a transition when a new trend happens? So when the market is going in one direction, just imagine you're on the highway traveling north, right? But all of a sudden, there's this massive construction zone, and they're saying, detour, you got to get off and take the little streets, right? That is that indecision, that consolidation, that, oh my God, what's happening? I'm not sure what's going on. That stressful area that there is really you're not really sure what's going on. You know you have to get off the highway because there's construction. Meanwhile, Google Maps or Waze hasn't caught up yet, so you're just basically trusting the detour signs and praying that it'll either continue eventually or allow you to get back on some road that you know. Okay, the breakout is when you're in this detour area, not sure what's going on, all of a sudden the detour brings you back to the highway, and the construction people are like, all right, you're good, get back on that highway and continue in the same direction going north. That is the breakout. And when you break out, boom, that is where all that energy is put back into that trend. Okay, put it back into that trend. That is a breakout trade. So it's a continuation of the same trend as you had before, but you had that consolidation area that you need to sit out and wait to see what happens. So this is it. You're going up, you're going north, you're driving north, and then boom, construction area. I don't know where I'm going. What's going on? Okay, wait, the detour, the construction people are telling me it's all good now. I could get back on my highway that I know so well, and boom, you are breaking out and continuing. All right, this is the breakout trade. So this is how I work my breakout trade. As you can see here below, there is the MACDs, right? You're looking at my MACDs. That is the red dots that you're noticing. And then you can see black dashed line. The black dashed line is 0. That is where the MACDs are 0. So the closer I am to the dashed line, the weaker the market is. The more I do not want to enter the market, right? And if you look, you can see that the price action is really weak. It's kind of just bouncing back and forth. It's a resistance area. And then boom, look at the MACDs and look at the price action. They both pop out with a lot of strength. That is the breakout. That's the breakout. And this is how I enter the breakout trade. This is it. And it's easy to spot. It's easy to understand because you have dual confirmation with the price action and the MACDs. Now, I mentioned before, how do you know if it's a breakout or if it's a transition to a new trend? So the new trend, I personally call this the initial instant reaction trade. A new trend trade is kind of like this, right? You want to be in as much in the beginning as you possibly can to be in a new trend. Because think of it like this. You want to go jogging. You put on your clothes, you are ready to go out the door. So if I'm going to be betting on you, I'm probably going to say that the highest percentage of you going 2 miles is when you first left that door, right? Because that's when you're the most energetic. That's when you're the most awake and gung-ho. So the same thing for early trends, right? In the beginning of a new trend. So as you can see here, the resistance area really kept that market from continuing up, and then boom, it shifted direction and a transition, and I want to get in as instantly as I can because that will be the highest point of getting the trend and the profit. Okay, this is the initial instant reaction trade. This is one of my favorite trades as well. But again, you have to understand, where are those areas? Where does that happen? So I see somebody here is asking where to find the cheat sheet. Please go to makingofadaytrader.com and you'll be able to get it right there. All right, guys. So here's the thing. We have absolutely everything we need to take action. right? We have everything we need to take action. We have different YouTube gurus. We have podcasts. We have these amazing summits and events that help us. We have books. But at the end of the day, how do you know that you are doing it right? How do you know that you are doing it right? Because all of this is great. The real question is, how do I even get started? Like, how do I get started? And I do not get this question from beginners. As a matter of fact, I mainly get it from seasoned traders because, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people believe that they have to spend money on chat rooms and indicators and all this, when in reality, all you need to do is simply understand what the market is telling you, and it's that simple. And once you understand what the market is doing and understanding those areas, I cannot even tell you the aha moments that people get, and they start to finally become profitable consistently. And usually it's literally just lacking a little bit of the understanding of the basics, because that's what we end up missing out, right? Like I mentioned earlier, when you hop in the car today, all of this that you're looking at right now is so automatic for us. We know that there's a windshield wiper. We know that there's a gear shift. We know that there's a steering wheel. We know where the horn is. But me and my husband, our oldest son just recently learned how to drive a car. And it was amazing when he hopped in. He's been in the passenger seat all his life, right? But when he got into the driver's seat and we're like, okay, you got to buckle up. You got to put, the gear into neutral, make sure the clutch is in, the brake is in. Now release the brake slowly with the clutch, put it in gear first. He said, clutch, brake, what are you talking about? He did not know, right? Because nobody's born with the basic information. But once we taught him, boom, he was able to drive. It's the same thing when we are looking at the markets. Now, I want you guys to become really, really creative. Close your eyes and just imagine you're in the car, you're driving, and you stop and you pick up a passenger, and they have never been in a car. Just imagine, right? This is going out on the limb. And you say to them, all right, buckle up, it's going to save your life, and let's go. And this person's never been in a car. And buckle up, what am I buckling up? I don't understand, but I know that it's going to save my life. And they don't know what to do. If you're not taught what a seatbelt is, you cannot even protect yourself. Please remember, everything we do, we're never born with it, right? And this was my own personal sad truth. I spent over $20,000 on my trainings, over $20,000 on trainings, on chat rooms and all that. And yet I struggled for years because I was trying to follow along with other people's entries and exits without truly understanding why. I was just trying to drive a car without having any idea how it truly functions, and not even knowing when I could brake, when I could go into reverse. And this is what happened to me. I ended up losing almost $4,000 within 5 minutes. And this kept on happening almost for 2 years. And then I just quit, because when I lost almost $4,000 in 5 minutes, that's when I just felt defeated. I felt completely defeated, and I quit. I couldn't handle it anymore. I felt like a total loser. I felt like I was losing my family's money. It was terrible. But here's the thing, guys, and I believe that all of us have this here who are sitting on the same presentation, is that we are all bit by a trading bug, right? We are all bit by the trading bug. I certainly was, and it never stopped itching. And do you know why? Because deep down inside, we know that we could do this. I stepped away for 3 or 4 months. I knew deep down that I could do this. If others are doing this, I can too. What was missing for me? I could not figure it out for a long time. So it took me over 3 to 4 months. I could not let it go. And then I finally realized that I can do this. But I realized that I never got back to the basics. I never learned the basics. So guess what? I came back with a vengeance. I had 3 monitors going on at that point beforehand. I literally donated 2 of my high definition monitors, where I basically gave them to the garbage men. I completely stripped all of my indicators. My chart had no indicators at first. I was bare naked charts until I slowly put in 2 indicators, and I started to just study the basics. And I did this for over a year and a half. And then a couple of years back, one of my students says to me, he's like, you know, your strategy and your teaching philosophy is very similar to Coach John Wooden. I've never heard of Coach John Wooden back then. I was like, who is this guy? So I looked him up on the internet, and this was a legendary coach. He was a legendary basketball coach. To this day, I don't believe anyone has come up to his accolades. And his entire training and coaching philosophy was, when in doubt, get back to the basics. And I mean, this guy led his team to 88 national championships, to 10 NCAAs. I mean, his people were A-list players, A-list players, and all he did was teach them the basics. Every season, when they came back, didn't matter how many accolades, how many things they've won, he went to the basics. How to tie your shoe, how to dribble a ball, how to roll a sock. Because guess what? If you're out on the court and your shoe is untied, you are going to trip and you are going to be out for the whole season. You got to get to the basics. And if you don't know the basics, you can't really do much. And this is how my introductory course was created. And today I have a very special offer for the participants only for the people that are here right now. It's called Boot Camp for Day Trading. And you can do it on any apparatus, on your desktop, laptop, iPad, tablets, phones, you name it. And all of this, one-time fee. I want you guys now to come to the computer and go into your navigator and put in bootcampfordaytrading.com. Put in bootcampfordaytrading.com right here. Put in bootcampfordaytrading.com so that you can follow along. All of this is $97, one-time price. So what do you guys get for $97 today that will bring you the same return on investment? Do you guys like to play golf? So me and my husband, we really love to play golf. Like I mentioned earlier, we lived in Central America for over 20 years, 14 years in Guatemala. When we first moved to Guatemala, we were playing golf and it was like $29 per person. We moved a year and a half ago and it was $119 per person in Guatemala. Okay, do you guys like to go out for dinner or take your friends out? Today, 2 people can't even get a $97 meal. So for $97, you are getting so much more on your return on investment that you'll be able to enjoy it so much more. So let me break down everything that comes for you. All right, and you can follow along bootcampfordaytrading.com. It's all written there for you. So you get the simplifying day trading package. And I know that setting up a platform could be stressful. So I have a 30-minute setup platform for any platform because they're all very similar. And I personally will help you. All right, because we want to get into the fun stuff, and that's the trading. Then we're going to talk about dissecting the markets, understanding those trends, upwards, sideways, downwards trend, and truly understanding and seeing and practicing reversal patterns and divergences so that we could spot them automatically and get into it. Okay, this is what's really important. And the areas. So we understand the support and resistance areas and then really see the divergences. To me, divergences, they are my holy grail, and they have kept me out of so many bad trades and allowed me to spot really powerful, good trades. And of course, we're going to be talking about the breakout mastery, the power of that breakout, because this is one of the most powerful trades out there. And we could also avoid the fake out breakout, because the fake out breakout, they're real, and we want to stay out of it as much as possible so that we understand. And you'll have unlimited access to the curriculum. All right, guys, all of this is usually valued at $1,600, and you get all of this. But today, for you guys, $97. So here's what some of my students have said. And I have students from all over the world because trading, we can do it anywhere in the world. So, Michelle, I'm just finishing the boot camp. Best money I ever spent. You are the only mentor that truly checks the work, and that is so amazing. I'm enjoying your boot camp, and I'm learning every day. Let me share something super important to you, because remember, you guys, what I mentioned earlier, how do you know you're doing it right? How do you know that you are doing it right? The thing is, what happens a lot of times is that we really don't know if we are doing it right, and we think we are, but there's nobody that's helping us and guiding us. I am offering in that one-time $97 fee, 1 month one-on-one mentorship with me, unlimited. You will have unlimited access to me. You could ask me questions. We will be able to go over your charts together. That is all included in that price, because a mentor could be what will take you to that next level. Okay? And I have a live chat room that we sit in, and it's me. It's not a moderator. It's nobody else helping you there, see the live market so we can apply everything that you are learning. All this is valued at $2,600, but for you guys only. And I actually never offer this anywhere else. This price, it's only for people that come alive to these events. So please go here, bootcampfordaytrading.com, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Okay, go here, bootcampfordaytrading.com. And here's everything that you guys will be getting. You'll be getting everything in the course, 30 days one-on-one mentorship with me, 30 days live chat room membership. All of this is worth less than the price of one trade. Most trades are around $200 to $400. This is $97, and you will be able to 10x your return on investment just from this education. And then you'll be able to go to 100 of these dinners. But here's the thing, guys. Because I have the mentorship, I'm only able to take on 25 students. And this is a really full room tonight. And I'm positive it's going to sell out like it usually does. So I just recommend to hop on, because $97, it's a no-brainer. Even just the fact that you get to work with me one-on-one, being able to help you with all your questions, all your charts, setups, whatever you'll need. All right, guys. So if you go here, bootcampfordaytrading.com, you will end up on this order form. And here you'll be able to see everything that is offered on the right. And you'll see one-time payment, $97. If you really want to do a payment plan, I offer it is for $59, 2 times. But once you do one, you automatically get access to absolutely everything else. All right, so let's go here together, bootcampfordaytrading.com. And I really look forward to working with you guys, helping you, and any questions you have, I am here to help. Thank you so much for having me and for taking your time out to be here tonight. Thanks, everybody.